So hello and welcome to my Tron hat tutorial. Here I am cutting up the pattern from fleece. I use the outer fabric pattern for the fleece and then I made a lining with college. Do you say it in English like college? We have in Finnish we call it kollegekangas, so I don't know. It's this really great pattern you can get for free from pearlsoho.com. I will be leaving a link for that in the description box. It has all the instructions on how you do this hat. It has all the how you sew it, in which order and so on. So this is just the ear flap hat that my boyfriend asked me to do for him. I printed out the pattern and then I cut it. And he asked specifically for a Tron inspired hat, so I made him this embroidery from a picture I found on Pinterest. Here I am putting the hoop together. So as you saw before, the hat isn't quite big enough for the hoop, so instead of doing something else, I just hooped this lining fabric, what is it? And then I grabbed my trusty old spray adhesive, Gunold KK100. I love this stuff. You just shake it and spray away. And then I decided which side was the right side for the fleece and put it on there real tight. I patted it so that it would be really, not bubbly, straight on there. And then I went to my embroidery machine, which I had left for the larger hoop, so I had to put that setting down there. This is a Brother PR620 machine. It's a 6-thread embroidery machine, and well, it is my friend, but not always. Like here, when I first start embroidering, there's no bobbin left. And here, when I'm threading it, you can see now that I put the thread around the tension bar like twice, because otherwise it doesn't know that there's upper thread. This is a machine that actually knows when there is no upper thread or bobbin thread. Unfortunately, the bobbin thread part is like he won't know until he's made at least 20 stitches, yeah. And that's when he's like, ooh, you don't have any bobbin thread. So that's a surprise sometimes. But with the upper thread, you have to wind it down twice over the tension point, and then it's really on there, and the machine doesn't ask you to put on some thread. So here it is already. It came out very beautifully. I love it. And so I'm just serging away all the parts of the hat. There's really good instructions on the website pearlsoho.com. I just sewed it up and sewed the seam that goes from the back of your head to your forehead as one. So this isn't the biggest thing to do ever. It's like actually kind of an easy thing. It took me like 2 hours to make this, 1 hour to draw the embroidery and 1 hour to cut it, embroider it and stitch it up. So it's a really easy job to do if you have the right equipment, of course. So then the hat was almost ready. I tried it on, and I was surprised at how good at it. I was surprised how good it looked. And then I was like, yeah, this really could use a lining. So that's when I decided to make a real hat and not just something that my boyfriend and his friends could laugh at. So I took the lining pattern piece and cut the, well, whatever fabric this is in English. And then I cut the straps for the braids I made from the ear flaps. I cut one turquoise flap, scrap, whatever, braid for each side, and then 2 black ones from the fleece. I think it looks best when you have 3 strands and one of them is different color than the others, so that it's kind of a contrasting look. And those I just serged at one end, and then I put the lining together. This is almost real time. It's only 2 times faster than real time. So this really is very fast to make, as you can see, especially if you don't have any machine problems. I almost had a machine problem when the right needle thread broke from my serger, but that was nothing. You don't even have to rethread it all after a needle one breaks. And then I put the lining and the and the outer fabric together, and I put the braids in. Well, they weren't braids at that point yet. And then I just sewed around the hat, but I was sure to leave an opening from which I could turn it inside out or outside out, whatever, so that it would be right sides out. And I don't really have anything to say about the sewing bit. It's just, you have to be careful to leave the opening. I left it in the back of the hat, so it will hide. And here is the almost ready product. Now I'm braiding. Braid. I made 2 braids and they were pretty. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fluish and also made a terrible video. Sorry for that. Then I sewed the back on like I do with all of the plushies. So hand stitching, and when I'm through with the hand stitching I just make a knot and then push the needle into the hat and out from the other side, and then I snap the thread and it hides in the hat. So here is my very poor tutorial. Thank you all for watching and hope you have a nice life. Subscribe!